not keep him waiting because I don't want to feel his wrath as well. He joins us right now. Hello, Brandon. How are you?
Good in yourself.
I'm doing great, man. Like I said, I don't want to feel your wrath because I feel like you were out there like you were fired up on
The
Saturday.
the wrath of raw dog over here.
Yo,
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was like, at the end of it, I was like telling my manager, I was like, I need to shut up. I was talking way too much.
no, I loved
uh,
it. I was telling them before the show, I was like, man, you went after the rankings, you went after your spot on the card. You went like I like that. I like that fire. I thought it was great.
yeah, yeah. And I was, like I said, I went in there kind of like not pissed off, but like a chip on my shoulder. It's like, I feel like every time I fight, I have to go out there and prove something because I'm like, I'm way lower on the card than I think I should be. And, I feel like I got my point across a few times, a few too many times maybe, but yeah.
You're right. I mean, this was an important fight. He was on a roll. You're on a roll. When you found out that you were on the prelims, what was your initial reaction?
I texted my manager and I was like, "Yo, are they gonna switch this?" And he's like, "Yeah, they'll switch this." And then
Oh,
the week went on, and I'm like, "They're not switching shit." So my initial reaction, or originally, my initial reaction was like, "All right, now I have to act a fool. Like I have to act a fool." And it's like Kutelaba is getting these main event spots, and it's like the only relevant thing that I can see him getting these spots is that he gets in people's face at weigh-ins and stuff. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to act up at weigh-ins. I go see Mateus Nikolai, and he's smiling at me. He looks like the nicest character ever, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna shake his hand and wish. Like he immediately deterred where I was going at in my head because I was like, all right, I'm gonna get in his face. I'm gonna talk a little shit, and I thought it'd be advantageous for me to talk shit in this fight too because he does a lot of moving around and stuff, and it's like if I could get him to just stay in the pocket with me or just stand with me, it would be a little ideal. And yeah, so I was like, maybe this will be like a good power play right here. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see what can happen off of this. And I saw him and he has these pretty blue eyes and he was smiling at me and he looked all just like the nicest character ever. And I was like, all right, well, I'm definitely not going to do that right now. I'm not feeling it.
would that be natural for you to get all fired up and
uh,
talk shit and all that?
no, I mean, I talk shit. I talk shit all day, every day. It's pretty much my lifestyle being an MMA fighter is all we do is at Factory X is talk shit back and forth. So it's like, I have that in me, but it's also just like, I feel like I've done enough where my fighting speaks for itself. So it's like I feel like I don't really have to go out there and go above and beyond to talk shit to people because it's like, yo, I actually bring fireworks and I actually have skills and I actually am capable of finishing fights unlike some of these people that need to talk shit. So it's like I don't know. I didn't ever necessarily want to go there. And if somebody ever takes it there, like if I ever fight a Davison that wants to talk shit, then I'm all about that. Like I love that. But I'm not going to go press something, especially on someone as nice and humble as Mateus Nikolai.
Yeah. Did you say to the brass backstage afterwards that you, like this ain't happening again? I don't want to be on the prelims again.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just told him, and like I feel like that whole entire week is just like I wanted to make a statement during that fight, and it was just like and it's like also it's just like undeserved too. It's like I'm like the top of the division. I've been in the top of the division, and it's not like I said, I get all finishes. Most of my fights are finished. I have one decision win, and it's like I don't know, but I did. I went back there and I was like, I'm never gonna be on a fucking prelim again. At least on a fight night, on a big card, I get it. On a big card, I get it, and on a big card, I'm still gonna be on ESPN. You know,
Right.
on ESPN Plus, it's not doing me any favors because it's like all the diehards watch ESPN Plus. If you have ESPN Plus to watch the UFC, you're into it. You know who Mateus Nikolai and Brandon Royval are because you pay attention to that. But as far as the ESPN goes, it's like yo, I'm not getting any of these like random fans, you know, and I'm not getting any of those like eyes on me, especially if we're talking about title implications, is what Dana White was saying before the fight, and it's like we got title fight implications, and let's go hype out the flyweight division anyways. We need to do that anyways. But that being said, is let's get a little hype behind whoever's going to be fighting for the title next. You know, it's like I feel like in a marketing perspective, that's what you'd want to do. You know, instead of hyping up maybe like a Kutalabo Bowser card where it's like these fools ain't fighting for the title anytime soon, you know?
Yep. Yeah, they tend to favor the bigger guys for whatever reason, even though you guys are higher ranked and there's bigger stakes attached. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was there not like a personal reason also why you wanted to be on the main card for your family?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I like and just I guess I'll briefly touch into it. Is just like I have a brother that's incarcerated, and they have ESPN. They have ESPN. You could see it on ESPN. The whole week, me and him were talking, and like, I wouldn't get into MMA without my brother. Like, this is like me and him chose very different paths in life, and this is how we bond. You know, this was our bonding. Like, I would be the biggest sissy if it wasn't for him. But this is how we bonded. Like, our whole entire life is like fighting. You know, we were huge MMA Pride fans, all the above, and it's like we got into the sport together, and yeah, he chose into like to lessen himself and chose a different path in life for sure. But that being said, is like the silver lining is like, okay, I'm on the prelims, but I'm on ESPN, and you could see it, you know. And we're talking about week, all right, at least you could see this, you know, at least you could see this. And then I go find out the week of that it's like, okay, they're having the prelims on ESPN Plus, so now he's not going to be able to see any of it. And it was like, then it was like, okay, well, I didn't really care that I was on the prelims because fuck it, you know, like it doesn't matter. I have to go fight a motherfucker anyways. But then it's like, yo, what am I even doing on the prelims anyways? Then it kind of turned into that. And it's like, why am I even on the prelims? And it's like, yo, my brother can't watch this. I'm not gaining any of these random fans. I'm not gaining any of these like these random eyes that you get. And it's like, all of a sudden I'm just like, this is undeserved anyways, you know? So yeah, I walked on with a huge chip on my shoulder. And like I said, I carry my brother with me when I fight. Like that's, like I said, that's, without him, I wouldn't be here. Like that, he's the one that got me into MMA. He's the one that told me, he's like, this would be a cool career. Like maybe we could just like stop fighting for free and then just get paid for it one day. And I remember that conversation was the switch in my head that made me like sign up for MMA gym. And yeah, so it was just one of those, like, I was stoked he could finally watch me fight. He could kind of like, you know, we could have this fucking cool moment, and he could call me right afterwards. And then it was just like, they never played it, and he didn't know, it was on that the prelims wasn't playing on ESPN Plus, so it was just like, and then I can't get a hold of him, like I can't reach out to him, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like I can go visit him when I'm in Kansas City, so it was just like, I don't know, it was just like one of those, like I had a chip on my shoulder, and then it would just suck, you know, and it is what it is, and it's like he shouldn't be where he's at. He's made some mistakes in life, and but that being said, it's just like I don't think I should have been on the prelims anyway. So I was pissed, you know.
By the way, you said you were talking to him all week that you're going to be on the main card. How do you speak to him if he's incarcerated?
He has to call me. So yeah. If he calls me, I can answer it, but I can't go tell him the day of the fight or the day before that, yo, this isn't going to happen anymore. Like, you can't be like, you're not going to be able to see this, you know? So it was just like one of those, like in my head, I was like, all right, there's a silver lining on the prelims. I don't really care. Dana White said himself, this is title shot implications. And I was like, at least he's going to see it, you know? Yeah. And
has he been able to
turn into that?
Has he been able to see you live in the UFC? Like
no,
in person?
Never. No, never in person. No. And I've only fought in front of a crowd twice. So that's like,
I didn't know when.
He's really would have had the opportunity, but yeah, he has never been released from jail since I've been in the UFC, or since I fought in front of a crowd. So both times he was not in a place where he could see me.
Okay.
And but like on some of these cards, like he'll be able to see some of it sometimes, you know. Or I don't know how you see stuff in jail, but he might be able to see a little something here and there, you know. So
how much longer does he have?
I'm not really sure. He hasn't went to trial yet, so it could be. There was like a chance that if they dropped something, that he could have maybe made it to the fight, but I already knew it was probably not the case. So
okay, all right. Well, you got the win, and even Dana White said afterwards that they screwed up and that they wouldn't happen. So you know that wouldn't happen again. So that had to have felt good. Where do you think this puts you in the weight class now?
I'm the number one contender. I don't know why. I don't get the rankings at all. Like, I don't get who does the rankings or like how they go about. But it's like, and I get that Davis and Figueiredo would be in front of me, but it's like, I don't get why Kai Kara-France is in front of me. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So it's just like, I'm the number one contender. Kai Kara-France and Davison are both coming off of losses, and it's like, I'm up next for the bout. And as far as I've been told, is I'm weighing in as the alternate for the.
Oh, you got the backup slot.
Yeah, I got the backup slot, and I think that's guaranteed. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that, I don't know if that means I'm going to be the next for the title fight or whatever, but I'm staying ready. I'm getting ready for this just in case something happens, you know. And fortunate enough for me is like Brandon Moreno and Pantoja carry the same skill set. Their jiu-jitsu's good, their striking's good, and it's like I can just practice for both of them and just increase my skills no matter what, you know?
Are you hoping if that fight happens? Are you hoping Brandon wins? Do you think Brandon wins? Is that the fight that would be like? Would that make you obviously you want to fight for the belt? You want to the belt. Doesn't really matter who's holding it, but do you feel like that's the bigger fight?
Yeah, that's the bigger fight, and I think that's the one that's going to be like doing the numbers and stuff. And like ideally, that's probably going to make me more money in the long run and gain more fan bases. But for selfish reasons, I want to fight Pantoja. I want to fight Pantoja for the belt. I think Pantoja has had a hard run at the belt and to get a title shot finally. And it's like it'd be cool to see him win, but more importantly for me is I want to take that from him. I want that win back. That's the only loss I have in the UFC, or the only loss that I consider in the UFC. I don't consider that Brandon Moreno really a loss. So to me, that's what I want. I want revenge. I want to get my lick back. I want it all. You know what I'm saying? And I'll definitely want to fight Brandon Moreno sometime in the near future. But Pantoja's who I wake up thinking about every day and have nightmares about because I lost that fight. And yeah, that's the one that irks me majorly.
Yeah, you have history with both. Those were your last two losses. Like you haven't lost since then. Just curious, why don't you consider the Moreno fight or loss a legitimate one?
Oh, because I dislocated my shoulder when I was on top of him. I was literally on top of him, like going for a leg lock, doing this, and I had real bad shoulder issues. You know what I'm saying? So I knew it was a possibility that my shoulder could dislocate. But I was riding like a kind of a high wind streak right then, so it was just like, yeah. I was on top of him, ground and pounding when my shoulder dislocated. It's like I think it was just more right time, right reason, and I needed that surgery anyway. So it was just like maybe bound to happen, or I don't know. But it was just like I think if anything, that's a no contest, you know. So
Who do you think wins the trilogy between Pantoja and Moreno?
I don't know. I wonder that. It seems like Moreno was just like, but Pantoja only had one fight since him and I fought, so you don't really know what he's up to, and it just like you see Moreno's obvious improvements throughout the years. So I would probably give the advantage to Moreno, honestly,
Hmm.
just because he's been active. He's been in these title fights over and over and over again, and cardio seems like it holds up in the fifth round. I don't know if Pantoja can keep the pace that he tries to sustain for 5 rounds straight. It'd be interesting to see if he could. But that being said, is I think Moreno in a 5 round fight can win it.
Flyweights are on fire these days, right? Like, isn't it amazing? Not that long ago, you guys were on as a division your deathbed, right? And now I feel like there's never a boring flyweight fight.
Yeah, yeah, straight. And that's like another cool part too. And like I feel like us flyweights kind of root for each other in that sense. Is like, yo, we're all in this together. Like, I don't want to get cut. I definitely don't want to. I definitely don't want this whole division to go down again. And anytime there's a flyweight fight, I'm just like, I hope it's a banger. I hope it's crazy. I hope there's some excitingness. I hope that the flyweights show out. And yeah, that's mainly what I hope. Anytime a flyweight fights is hopefully they don't look too good also because that'll be intimidating. But that being said, it's just I want to put out performances because it's like, yo, we need this. We need more eyes on our division. We need to be more hyped up a little bit more, and I think just marketing more. And it's like if these guys are delivering, and I think Mick Maynard's done a great job at signing some exciting flyweights. If these guys are delivering, then it's like, okay, well, we're gonna stay around. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad to be a part of that, and I'm glad to be the front runner of being the most exciting fighter in the most exciting time of this division.
Oh yeah, you've put yourself in a great spot. Nicolau, like I said, was on a roll. Title fight coming up in July. You're the backup fighter, it seems. So it seems like all the stars are aligning for you. And I say keep talking, keep making noise. People are drawn to that. As long as it's warranted and fair, people like that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, and I feel like I wasn't saying anything that people weren't already believing because it was like in my head I was thinking that, and then in my head I was like, you know what, I'm being like I'm over. I'm overpricing myself, maybe, and I was thinking that I'm like maybe I'm
Nah.
overpricing myself. And then I looked at the internet, and everything underneath is like Royval should be co-main event. Royval should be on the card. I'm like somewhere on the card. You know what I'm saying? So it was like one of those like I don't know. Like it was just validation. It was validation all around. That whole week was validation, and Dana White even saying that I belong on that main card was validation. So I'm glad that it's like I could seek these validations throughout throughout this fighting somehow, some way. And the 50 G's is nice, of course. The 50 G's is nice, of course, but it's just like I'm here for a bout, you know what I'm saying? I'm here for a bout. I'm here to turn heads. I'm here for it all, you know? So that's the plan. And yeah, man, it was a good week. It was a good week for sure.
Great stuff, Brandon. Congratulations. Looking forward to the next one. Hopefully you get that title shot and we'll see you in there very soon. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother. Have a good day.
You too. There he is. Brandon Royval, the Raw Dog. I don't know if it's the Raw Dog, if I'm being honest. It might just be Raw Dog.